Okay, so I want to ask you a little bit. What is the biggest thing? So someone's looking at improving their life, and they're not sure what aspect. They have this feeling of stuckness, as you call it,
Like discontent.
Yeah. What would you recommend? Like, what's the first step that they need to take?
So, for me, there's these two parts to growth, and one is awareness and one is action. So, obviously, if they're feeling this way but they don't know what's going on, they need to understand that more. So from that perspective, if you do the same things you've always done, you get the same things you've always received, right? So I think that if somebody is stuck and is discontent with something, they've got to figure out what that's about. And if they're able to do it themselves, great. If they've got a family member or someone else that really helps them with that, great. I found that a lot of people are really terrible at that. And that's okay. Some people are skilled at it, some people aren't. That's fine. Some people are good at playing with kids and some people aren't. Some people are good at mechanics and some people aren't. So what I would say is do something to create some self-awareness. And that whether that is through books and reading, through an online program, through a seminar, through a coach, through someone outside of you that can give you some ideas on your life, that's fantastic. That's a first step. Now, having said that, you've got to be ready going into learning about yourself and awareness that you're going to have to take action too. If you get sucked down the black hole of the seminar nerd, where you're going to seminars every week and you become so self-aware, but nothing comes from it, that's not doing you any good. It's flushing the money down the toilet. So for me, first step is do something to create some self-awareness. Start reading, start learning, start growing in whatever way works for you best. There are lots of mediums for this in North America right now. But then after you've done that, after you've just thought about starting it, as you're starting it, take action. Do something. Make a rule that every time you read a chapter in a book, you're going to take the action steps at the end of the chapter. If you go to a seminar, every day you're going to write down a few things or one thing that you can do. Make it simple. And the simpler you make it, the shorter the action step is, the simpler, the smaller it is. One thing, if you take action on that one thing, you will change your life. If you slowly learn about yourself, but you're not taking any action, is zero good to it. There's a Japanese idea, it's called Kaizen. I'm sure I'm butchering it there. But it's this idea, and we don't have this idea in North America. It's the idea of taking small, simple steps consistently for slow growth. That's such a weird concept. Like, even as I say that, it sounds very Zen-like and mystical, but it sounds stupid to North Americans, right? Okay. Go slow, make it slow and simple, and take a really long time with it. That sounds weird to business-minded people. We're like, no, let's get it done. Let's take on 3 things and get it done.
Yeah.
But if you can make one small change and master that small thing over 20 years, it will make a way bigger difference if you're taking consistent action, slow action with that, than taking the 30 steps that the newest blog says today and failing at all of them and being frustrated again tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so for people that are in this state that we're talking about, sometimes you go to a seminar, you watch a motivational video, you do one of these things, and at the end of it, it's almost like a high. Okay, and then we've all experienced this at some point, and then the end of the seminar, the end of the event, whatever, and you almost feel worse.
Yes. Or you get into a fight with your partner when you go home, or something falls apart. As soon, that week, you know something's going to happen that's frustrating, right?
And the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're trying to be self-aware a little bit. I think is the key. So, I mean, we're like, I'm feeling discontent. I don't know what's wrong with my life. Maybe it's my job. Maybe it's my health. Maybe it's you're just vitamin deficient. Yeah. What's going on? So, I'm watching this video. Mark says, listen, get a self-help book, do something, find somebody that can help you, from the outside looking in kind of thing. And if that's a seminar, that's a seminar. You go to a seminar, conference, motivational video on YouTube for those people that don't have any money, really.
Yep.
and then they get all excited, and then something happens, tears them apart. What is the reason for this? What separates the people that see this speech have a life-changing epiphany almost, versus someone who's like, yeah, I saw the same video, got intrigued the same way, and we didn't end up the same way?
I don't think there's one thing, Daniel. I think that there are 1,000 things that can go into that. So for example, you're talking about somebody just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. If they're going through, if it's the middle of winter in northern Canada and there's no light, that can affect a person. So if they hit the seminar there, it doesn't matter how much they've got. Sometimes they just don't have the motivation. They're vitamin D deficient that month, and they're not going to take the same action. That can be it. It's as simple as that. Or it could be you get what you pay for. So some people go to a cheap seminar and pay $20 for a coaching experience. Well, if you were making $20 at your job, you call yourself a professional, but you make $20 an hour or $20 for a month of coaching or something, imagine the quality of work that you're going to put out. So that's another aspect of making sure you get somebody that's fantastic at what they do. The better the person is, the better they're going to be able to tell you of, hey, this sounds like a chemical deficiency, versus this is something that you simply need to take the first step. So one is very simple, one is very complex. And if somebody can help you out no matter what's going on, that's going to help out. It could be that it depends where you're at in your life. When people are comfortable, they don't take action. They're less likely to take action. So there's some people that are very gifted at practicing discontent. So what I mean by that is going, I'm not satisfied. Yes, I've grown a lot, but I still want to grow more. And you see this with like Bill Gates. Bill Gates has achieved so much in his life. He's made way more money than most people even understand how much money he has. It's too many numbers for people to understand. And yet, even after that, he's left business, but he's probably not left it completely, but he's gone into areas of philanthropy, and he's pushing himself and growing himself. How can we change the world? How can I use my skill set to learn and grow? And those kind of people that are really high achievers consistently are people who typically take action. They're not always the smartest. That's not one of the criteria. They're not always the smartest, but they're always the people that push themselves, that can motivate themselves in certain ways, that can take a concept and say, I don't understand it completely, but I'm going to take some action on it. Those are the people that typically get far more out of those events. Now, so the question that comes to my mind is, what if you're the other person? What if you're not one of those people?
Yeah.
Then I go, again, some people can do it. Like, I'm the kind of person that I can read books. I get an unbelievable amount out of them. I take lots of action out of them, and I grow a ton. Some people read books and they're like, my eyes glaze over and I fall asleep. So that's fine. If you're not one of those people, then hire somebody in your life. It'll cost more time, it'll cost more energy, it'll cost more money. But if you're willing to do that, you'll get more out of it. I came across a quote, I think 2 weeks ago, where somebody said, always spend the most you can afford for the best coach around you.
Okay.
So if you can afford $50, spend $50. Buy a book. If you can hire somebody for a few $1,000s, hire them. If you can hire Tony Robbins, if you've got $150,000 right now, go sign up for Tony Robbins for his year-long mentorship course. It's $150,000, $200,000, something like that. Just pay it, because he will give you a far better experience and work with you in a better way than somebody who's you're paying $2,000 to. If there's somebody that's beyond Tony Robbins, or like for Tony Robbins, if you could have one-on-one with Tony, and it costs you $1 million for 6 months of coaching, do it. Do it if you can afford it, because he will turn that $1 million that you've paid him into an experience that you will grow so much from that your life will take off. So that's what I would say. If you're not that one person, if you can't get everything out of everything, then pay for it. It's okay to pay for it. That's what money's for. Better your life, better the people, lives around you.
So there's coaches that are their price points are $30,000, $40,000.
Yep.
And I have a hard time believing that I'm going to get $30,000 to $40,000 worth of value. So that's me at that price point.
Yep.
Is someone, you know, I've never heard of, didn't know they were in the coaching space. All of a sudden, yeah, you're coaching, it's $30,000, $40,000. You know, but we're also in a different space, so we make a little bit more, that kind of thing. So someone else who's never had coaching before, they're like, dude, I got a hard time believing I'm gonna get $5,000 worth of value out of this.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you say to that, right? We think of Tony Robbins. You're like, well, I can see the guy on stage. I kind of get it, but I'm sure there's people that are still skeptical. Otherwise, his seats would be, you know.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that people complain about Tony Robbins or whoever it is. It doesn't matter who they are. Yeah, for those people, there's a part of me that goes, Daniel, if somebody is so skeptical that they're not willing to spend 10 or 20 bucks on a book, or they're not willing to spend a few $1,000s on coaching, they haven't experienced stuckness in the way that they need to make change in their lives. So there's a part of me that goes, don't worry about those people right now, because they'll be back in 6 months or a year, because their life is going to suck at some point in time, and then they'll come back. And then there are other people, like, I mean, we've talked about this. We've got some certain family members in our lives that they probably will never take coaching, and they will never see the value of even spending $100 on themselves, and they will always be stuck. We can't change all of them. But what I would say is, if somebody's struggling with that, I would say have an open mind. Most people that I know of will give time to somebody to test to see if they're ready for coaching. It's like I give 45-minute sessions, right?
Okay,
Most of the coaches I know are willing to sit down with somebody for a period of time to see where they're at and to see if they're ready for it. And listen, if you're ready for it, great. If you use that 45 minutes to test somebody, to go, is this the kind of person, use it as an interview, is this the kind of person that I want to spend my money on? Do I connect with them? So I come back to something that I tell people all the time, and that is, find someone who's really, really good at what they do. Not okay, not good, like fantastic at what they do. And then secondly, find someone also that you connect with. And if somebody is somebody you go, I like this person, I respect this person, and they're really good at what they do, I say, have a conversation with them. And as you have that conversation with them, I'm positive your growth. But here's another thing. Ask people who are successful that you do know. Because this is what I have found. This is what changed me in many ways. I started asking successful people around me, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And they started giving me the same answers. We get up early. We take action. We hire coaches in our lives. We spend money for our own personal development and growth. And when I was hearing that over and over and over and over again, it changed my belief. So I went, I'm going to spend the money. When I started to spend the money, I started to get better results in my life. So that's another thing, and that would be free, is find people around you that are, again, really successful. Not like they're making $100,000, $200,000 a year. I'm talking like people who have a high net worth, people who've grown a business, people whatever, and ask them what they do, because they're going to give you the same answers. They paid for growth. All of them. All of them. It's crazy. I love talking to those people, because they always say, hey, oh yeah, this mentor and this coach and this person that invested in me. That's the way it works.
Fair enough. All right. I think we covered a decent amount of stuff. Yeah. Little tidbits. These are good. Yeah, they are. I mean, I would recommend people, if you're watching this and you go, that might be something that would help me later on or in the future. I mean, these are recorded. you can watch them again. Save it, record it yourself, and then pay attention to it at a later time. Sometimes I watch the same thing over and over again and go, oh, that really stands out to me. So yeah, whatever helps. So I think we're in a really unique space right now, and that's we've kind of come across a decent amount of time. We're kind of, we're starting to build some really interesting things. We've got a lot of experience in the past, and so we're at a stage right now. In the early part of 2018, I see this changing kind of over the next 6 months, but we've got a vast amount of time, and I think that we're able to give that time to people. So if you guys got questions, then reach out, right? And we're kind of in a space now where we can actually answer these questions one-on-one and give you some time. I know Mark right now, like, we're doing some really cool things. It'll give you a 45-minute coaching call to kind of see where you're at and see what's going on. And so I would definitely, if you guys are even considering it or thinking about it, take advantage of it, right? It's 45 minutes to potentially change your life or the course of your life. Worst case scenario, you're like, man, this guy's a goofball. Like, what's he doing here? Right, but on the other side, right? Like you're missing out on one episode or half an episode. I don't know how many episodes are of whatever show, but anyways, take advantage of different things and really take that first step. If you're feeling stuck in any ways, anxiety, like take that step and just you'll at least go to sleep being like, yeah, I tried it out. Whatever, just wasn't for me, or maybe it was, and then we'll hopefully change your life a little bit.
And this is the ideal in many ways. What you find is that people gain success in a certain area, and then they want to give back. They want to invest in others, and so like Daniel's saying, this is what we're passionate about right now. This is what we're enjoying doing, to sit and answer questions, to help people, to spend some time with people. So yeah, it's worthwhile for us. It's been worthwhile for us. We know it's worthwhile for others.
All right, cheers. Be great.